is not going to be another video about the top 10 cheapest countries you could move to or even how easy it is to move abroad. Instead, I want to give you some hard truths, okay? Because there are some people who move abroad and have their happily ever after, and there are others who take 5 to 10 years or more to simply plan a move, and they just become overwhelmed, they become frustrated, and quite frankly, they end up back in the United States within 3 to 5 years. And I don't want that to be you. So I'm going to give you 5 things that you must do before you leave the United States, okay? Now, before we begin, let me just tell you, I'm Arnitha Webb, global lifestyle strategist and founder of RYL Abroad. I invite you into the community so that we delve into these conversations because I help people not just decide, but also to achieve what they need to do to be location independent and move abroad. Now, let's begin. Number one, I really do need you to have a personal vision. And before you just press the stop button or scroll away from me, look, that's not some lofty recommendation or some lofty question. Oh, I got to find out my why. No, you really, really do need to know before you make such a bold move what it is you're looking for. So let me help you out. I'm going to give you just a couple of simple questions to ask yourself. I want you to just look at the first 24 to 36 months. That's just 2 to 3 years. And ask yourself, what is it that you're looking for in that short term? Are you looking to go back to school? Because that's going to help you determine where you need to go. Are you looking for just an easy way to live, just a lower cost of living, just easy day-to-day lifestyle? Are you looking to be centralized in a location of the world where it's easy for you to travel and inexpensive for you to travel? What are you looking for? Are you looking to develop, a new network of friends, to learn a new language? Ask yourself just a few of these fundamental questions, and that will help you develop a personal vision for this move. Okay. Number two, I need you to think about insurance. I need you to think about protections because life does not stop lifing just because you move abroad. And quite frankly, this is one of the primary reasons that people run back to the US because something just unforeseeable happens, something catastrophic happens, and they run back to their safety nest because they didn't plan properly. Now, you will find when you research visas that in most countries, you have to have a private health insurance in order to have that visa approved. Now, that doesn't mean that they don't have a public option. It simply means as a US citizen, they want you to have private insurance on top of that. Okay. You'll also find that the premiums are nowhere near like what you're accustomed to hearing or paying in the United States. So I want you to not approach this from a point of lack. Now, again, before you stop this video, I'm not, it doesn't matter. I say that to the person who is on the tightest of tight budgets. Now, I say that because oftentimes, the difference in the premiums for a policy that could give you $50,000 worth of benefits versus one that may give you $250,000 worth of benefits, or let's take it to another comparison, $100,000 worth of benefits versus $1 million worth of benefits. Sometimes the difference in the premium is anywhere between $10 and $20. Literally. Now, that could be $10 to $20 extra per year or per month, depending on the country. But the difference, as you can see, in the amount of benefits you have is enormous versus the difference in the premium, which could be very minuscule. Okay, so please don't approach this from a point of lack. Approach this as a way to put the protections in that you need. I also need you to think about life insurance. If you currently hold a life insurance policy in the United States, I need you to talk to your agent, ask him if that policy has any living benefits on it, and if that policy will also cover you if you have a resident permit or an approved visa in another country. Okay? Be very detailed with your question. If you are even slightly unsure in your agent's response, you also can call your carrier directly, ask for your underwriting departments, and get the answers to these questions because all carriers in the United States are not created equal. All carriers will not cover you if you have a resident permit or a visa and you're living outside of another country. If you do not ask this question correctly and you just say, will you cover me outside the United States? They are thinking about a vacation outside the United States. They're not thinking in terms of you're going to live outside of the United States. So you have to be very detailed with this question, please. Okay. Another level of insurance I want you to think about is income protection. If you are still a working adult, not retired, not relying on dividends or anything like that. If you are still a working adult, look into income protections as well, because again, life keeps lifing. If something happens and you can't work for 3 to 6 months, you need some type of rehabilitation or what have you. There are insurances that you can put in place in most countries where you can have some protection on your income. That applies to income, whether it's I-9, W-2, or self-employment. It doesn't matter. Look into that, please. So that's the second thing. The third thing I need you to consider is what are you willing to risk? You need to know what you're willing to risk because you are going to run up on some challenges. So, if you are the type that the first challenge that happens, and it could be something very simple, okay? If you're the type that's going to run back to the United States, then admit that to yourself right now. Just know that I'm that person that the moment something is not perfect, okay? The moment it rains too hard, I'm going to run back to the US. Admit that to yourself right now and save yourself a lot of heartache, okay? Because life is life, okay? There is no perfect paradise, alrighty? Know why you're leaving, know what you're looking for, know how to protect yourself, know what you're willing to risk. The fourth thing I want you to look into or start, you know, really sooner than later if you're serious about this, is look around and start downsizing, please. Let me give you some tips. When it comes to your documentation, start accumulating all important documents. That means birth certificates, death certificates, marriage certificates, degrees, certifications, health records. Make sure all of your important documents are safe. Make sure all your important documents are also digitized. Okay. Make sure that you can easily put your hands on any important document at any given time. Okay. When it comes to other downsizing, things that you don't need, start donating, start selling, start seeing who in the family will hold certain memorabilia for you. At once upon a time, I would recommend how to do an international shipment, but at this juncture, I'm going to say don't plan to move with any furniture. Okay, because the cost alone and the risk involved and the likelihood of you getting your furniture undamaged is much higher these days. So it's really not worth it. So really start downsizing and don't take forever and a day. And trust me, I don't say this lightly. I know it's daunting. I know. Okay. But this is something that you really, if you're serious about this move, it's something you have to put in motion. You have to put all these things in motion if this is something that you want to do. It does not take 10 years to plan this at all. Okay. You can do this within 12 months. Very, very doable, very easily. Let me go ahead and give you the fifth thing. The fifth thing that I need you to do is if you have any doubt, or let me say it this way. If you don't already have your footprint in a country and you are very certain on where you want to move, if there's any doubt, if you're looking at one country versus another country, then allow yourself the opportunity to go live in both before you apply for a visa, before you jump through all of those hoops. Okay. Put your United States passport to work because most countries you can go to for 3 months or more without even worrying about any visa. So go live in both of those countries that you're thinking about and see for yourself. And when you go to live in those countries, I'll give you another tip on doing that. Um, Try to refrain from using Airbnb. Instead, go with a local company. get a short-term lease, go into a co-living building even, which is a great way to get to know people and to socialize. Step outside of your comfort zone. If you're going to go live somewhere for 3 months, step outside of your comfort zone and make sure that you gather all of the knowledge and experiences that you can during those 3 to 6 months so that you can make a decision on whether or not you want to apply for a long-term visa. Okay. I hope that helps you. And if it does, then please leave me some comments. Let me know where you are in your journey and let me help you make this possible. And by all means, consider joining the RYL Abroad community as well. Okay. Ciao.